Scott,
Rod.
what the fuck happened yesterday?
I'm not quite sure. I woke up this morning in a blur still. Something ridiculous happened last night.
All right. Maybe for those that don't know, I'm going to tell you the backstory, and it starts in a little place called Africa.
The country.
So,
the country of Africa.
Yeah, the continent Africa. I'm still delirious, guys. Like, bear with me.
We were in downtown Africa.
Yeah, we're in downtown Africa, just getting a kebab. And Philip and Eric, who are the co-founders of Gridless, they flew in from Nairobi, Kenya. They've been flying into the National Energy and Mining Summit, I think from the start, or maybe the last 2 years. So big shout out to them. Please give them a round of applause. And it was the least we could do. Me, Scott, and Eco flew down there to support the Africa Bitcoin Conference, which, if you have never been, I highly recommend. So anyways, Eric and Philip were kind enough. They invited us on a safari the week before, or a few days before. And that's where we met Marshall, this crazy character. And who listens to Pod 256, this podcast that me and, okay, cool, thank you. We've been memeing and just thinking about a telehash for a year plus now. And we've been joking about getting an exahash pointed to our solo mining pool. And we were very fortunate to meet Marshall. And the next thing you know, we're here yesterday, super tired. It's like the 7th hour. And then what the heck happened?
So we were solo mining, in both definitions of solo mining. We were doing both of them. And so we had a wide range of Bitcoin miners pointing hash rate at this node, which was here. Literally this node. It's still warm. It was plugged in over here. And we had talked about this a lot leading up to the event. Like, do we want to solo mine? Because if we're solo mining and we don't hit a block, our fundraiser raises exactly 0.0 Bitcoin.
Zero. Negative, actually, because of how much time and energy we spent.
So we were debating this leading up to the event, like, oh, maybe some people want to do, shared mining so we can get a little bit of money for this fundraiser, and then solo for people who want to be degenerate gamblers. And then for some reason, I don't know, the morning of yesterday, the shared pool never really materialized.
Well, yeah, and actually even 72 hours before that, and Brian and Steve Myers, big shout out to those guys that are building out our sovereign infrastructure here at Bitcoin Park. The idea, John Stephanopoulos hit us up, and maybe Marshall, you can explain that a little bit more. What did we do specifically with that over the last 72 hours? And then what were you doing? Because this guy was spending a lot of his time yesterday, maybe like 6 of the 8 hours, troubleshooting to make sure that thing was humming.
Yeah, so in general, this is a really cool product by a company called FutureBit. And it is a node and a Bitcoin miner kind of all wrapped into one. It's got a really nice UI. You can log into it, and it's meant as like an educational tool mostly, I would say. However, when I got here yesterday, there was no pool set up, and Eco was like, "Here you go." And
again, where is Eco?
he told me he's in the Caribbean right now, so I don't know.
Who had the keys to the wallet?
Yeah, that's what we're trying to figure out.
I don't know if it's Eco.
And so somebody, luckily enough, I'm terrible at networking, which is something he's very good at. But this was already networked and port forwarded and all the other things to allow people from outside Bitcoin Park to point their miners directly to this machine. And then this machine is connected to the Bitcoin network. And we're basically just doing a bunch of guesses over and over to try to hit a Bitcoin block. And so over the course of yesterday, there was several hundred different participants who in aggregate donated. At the top peak, it was 1.41 exahash.
But real quick, at the top peak, it was not consistent. Like, what do you think consistently we were mining?
It was probably, at its highest, it's probably 1.4. I would say on average, it was probably...
So just to put some scale on this, a exahash is 1 million trillion hashes per second.
Yes. That's
a lot.
It's a lot of compute.
Per second.
Small number.
Yeah.
1 million trillion.
A lot of compute shoved to this little thing. And it was trying to find, the sweet spot between not making it so aggressive that it would kick the smaller miners off and not making it aggressive enough to... I mean, it's a lot of traffic if you don't do it right. And so it was just a lot of configuring and me talking to John about, I don't really know what I'm doing. I haven't configured a pool in like 5 years. And there was a bunch of typos, and, it crashed a bunch, but we got it, and we're here. And now the 256 Foundation is funded with 3.14 Bitcoin.
Let's go. So as people are walking in, please grab a seat. So anyone who's standing, you got to grab a seat because it's going to be standing room only today. Make your friends, shake hands, kiss babies, introduce yourself. Philip, what was your initial reaction yesterday?
Well, and I think we were talking about this earlier in the day that the story arc began in the African bush. So we were literally on safari. We were surrounded by zebras and elephants and lions because Marshall attracts lions. And so Scott had brought a bit axe.
Oh, that's right.
And Eric had brought a Starlink. So here we are in this beautiful surrounding, like having a bush breakfast, and they're like, "Hey, let's do some mining in the bush." So we whip out the Starlink, we whip out the bit axe, So there's Eco and Scott and Marshall, and everybody's gathered around, like giving opinions on this. And I remember us like joking at the time, like, what happens if we hit a block? Like, how cool would it be if we went back and the story was, there we are running a bit axe in the bush on a Starlink, and we hit a block. But that was the genesis of these guys meeting Marshall, and Marshall getting excited about participating in this. And even, it was probably about 10 minutes before we hit the block, Marshall and I are sitting outside watching, the highest difficulty that we'd achieved. And I was like, oh man, we're getting close. Marshall, he's like, no, we're not even 1% of what we would need to do to hit a block today. And so then, it's just a few minutes later. But I just think it's awesome, that there's.
I think it's awesome
there's
too.
This cool story arc of, us out there horsing around with Scott's cool hardware.
Scott told me if I didn't donate, he was going to feed me to the lions, and we were literally by lions. I was like, okay, I'll figure it out.
It's just, and for the folks that were here, 7, almost 8 hours. It was tiring sitting up here and just trying to think of stuff to talk about. And we were pretty tired near that last hour.
It was the longest episode of the Pod 256 we've had today.
That's right.
Yeah.
So hopefully it's inspired. Like, what do you think it's going to inspire, Scott, for the kind of the pleb home miner community?
Well, now we have some funding to support all the grants that the proposals that we put out and announced yesterday. We've got a whole stack of amazing open source projects in mind,
and more applications.
Yes. So, this is going to be pretty epic to get all these ideas out there, get them started, and start that like exponential progress that comes with open source development.
Let's go.
And we also have video evidence of solo mining.
It might be the first
solo mining a block in real time on video.
Someone needs to cut out Eco. Like this B Rocket Miner did a good job, but he needs to get like 15 seconds before when he does a double take, and then he looks down and does a hesitation, and then you can tell he's like wincing a couple times behind his glasses, and he's like, "We did it!" So, by the way, show of hands, who's first time here at Bitcoin Park? Let's go. Thank you guys for coming. Yeah, that's awesome.
Right on.
So I'll say this again. We have a few general guidelines to enhance everyone's experience. Who's received an email from me out of curiosity? All right, good. Everybody should. You should probably receive like 30. Who hasn't? Yeah. So we talk about Bitcoin, the capital B, the monetary network here, as well as the reserve asset, the Bitcoin, the lowercase b. If you're into crypto, altcoins, NFTs, LFTs, gold, or whatever, there's probably another meetup or summit for you. But we're going to talk about Bitcoin here. Second, we have a no photos policy. So none of those like panoramic photos. If you want to take a photo, everyone opts in. Totally more power to you. Anyone park in the church parking lot? Good, because it's not allowed. There you go, Mike. Please no parking in the church parking lot. The acoustics in here, believe it or not, out of all the rooms we have, this one's the only one that's not sound treated. So when present, other than us having banter right now, you guys can have side conversations. But once we get going, please keep all side conversations to 0. The other thing, I'll add a bonus one, like this gentleman walking up and that nice lady. You guys grab seats? Yep, perfect. Let's do it. Just keep grabbing seats as much as possible because we're going to have a lot of people here tonight and today, and the content is going to be absolutely a banger. We got the volunteers, all of us, in these green hoodies. You guys have any questions, just tag one of those folks. We got 2 restrooms in that building, 3 restrooms in this building. The entire campus is open for you all. So if there's a little bit more rain and you guys want to stay indoors for lunch or breakfast or dinner tonight, make yourselves at home. I know there's always one more that I always forget, but it'll come to me. Trash. Yes, thank you, Kiki. Thank you. Please pick up after yourself. It takes a village just to keep this place going and operating. And I seriously cannot thank you guys enough. This is our 3rd year of doing this. Probably the best weather, even though it's raining outside. I mean, who was here last year? Yeah, that was crazy. I mean, thank God nobody died. Like, like just cracked their head open, on the ice. But throughout the day, we're going to have some exciting announcements, like in between sessions. The last session of the day with Scott, you're not going to want to miss that one with Max from Proto. Like, even yesterday, I was like, man, we should probably tease that because we've been doing this 7-hour telehash, and people are probably bored. We got to give them something to be excited about. And we mind a block, of course. So that'll be awesome. And then Matt and Marty are super kind to do a rabbit hole recap during lunch. So you can go grab lunch next door, bring it over here, and we'll have a good time. Do you think we're going to ever do that again?
Oh, we get some more hash rate. Yeah, we run it up again. Come on, man.
Let's go.
So, but seriously, like
tomorrow,
you're gonna point it. So 2 things. One, will you point another exahash if we do another telehash again?
No comment.
Okay, thank you. 2, poor Marshall. Probably his DMs are blowing up. Be like, hey man, we got this telehash. Can you point us some hash? But do you think we're going to be able to do this again?
Yes, we're going to do it again.
We hit a block. We have to at least try again.
We have
right?
to do it again. I think we can do it better.
I feel it. I definitely think we can do it better, and I'll be curious to know how in a second. It's just one of those things I think about. We'll probably do it for the next 20 years, and we're going to miss a block for the next 20 years. We're like, of course we hit it on our first time.
We got this. We got this.
So what could we do in the last few minutes before we get started? What could we do better for the next telehash?
I think we can set up the node with the pool better, right? We can have different endpoints for like high hash rate miners, proxies. We can have one for all the people with bit axes or nerd miners so that we don't have to mess with this var diff thing over and over. We can also split the load out across a couple servers. I think it'd be pretty nice to hard code the donation address into the pool so people can just put their worker name in. If they're pointing it to the right URL, they just put in their worker name. I think it'd be really cool to have some software that shows all that stuff on the screen, right? All the workers are just popping up,
Brian,
right?
we need you, buddy. Thank you.
Yeah. And, of course, the hash rate, best difficulty, all that stuff. We should be, just...
Like the telehash board. By the way, this is like a Pod 256 episode. We kind of just like make it up as we go along, and then we ship it. So that'll be fun.
We need to have telephones, I think, so people can call in.
That's right. Call in their hash.
Call it in.
It's
yeah.
01905A.
Type it in
Did you get
like, I
that right?
got you. Yeah.
Every hash
Yes,
counts.
our hash rate
Every
is
hash
big
counts,
numbers.
guys. So Marshall, you mentioned this yesterday. At what percentage over did we hit? And explain what that means.
Sure. So in general, when you're mining, you're basically doing a bunch of guessing to try to guess a number that is higher than the network difficulty. And so the difficulty last night, I think, was 108 trillion or something. And the number we got was 116. So we were 1% over where we should have been. So we just barely got it.
That's all it takes.
That's all you need. That's all you need. And the math breaks down to about 8% probability that happened.
So, we love all those big pools. We got folks from Foundry here. We got folks from Ocean here. But you know what? We got a new player in the game, guys.
Bitcoin Park, baby.
Let's go. Although we gave John Stephanopoulos like $1 million plus worth of advertising.
You're welcome, FutureBit.
Yeah, seriously. They're going to have to come and support the park in a big way. Because next time it's going to be, we got to make sure it says the 256 Foundation.
It does say.
It does.
Okay, so I'll
Talk
take
to me.
credit for that mistake.
Okay.
When
I don't know if you want to take
initially,
credit for a mistake, but okay.
Hey, I've messed up mining more ways than anybody's ever in the history of mining probably messed up.
And by the way, for 30 seconds, explain to the folks in this audience, when did you start mining and how have you been mining?
So I started mining in 2010 on a laptop, and just kind of grew from there.
In China, right?
All over. So I've mined across 19 countries. I've deployed over 3 gigawatts. So I've messed it up every way you could possibly mess it up, including yesterday. So
You figured it out. Yes,
Yeah,
We got it.
It worked. I think
Yeah,
thanks to
proof
your
of work,
effort.
bud. We hit
So
a block.
the block signature for this says Future Bit by Apollo, mined by the 256 Foundation, because it was on their hardware, and I just was like, oh, we'll leave their stuff in there too. So here you go.
Rock and roll.
There's enough love for everybody, okay?
No.
It's all good.
So if you guys actually open up mempool.space and you actually type in 881423, that's the block that we hit.
Rod's getting a tattoo, actually.
I'm not. Although, tangent. If somebody who's more clever than me needs to go into all the Pod 256 episodes and do some AI and pull up every time we talked about the telehash. When was the first time we talked about it?
Do a supercut of
Yeah,
the
supercut of it
telehash.
all. Put it all together. Do a supercut of when we were talking about 1 exahash and how we were dreaming about it. And then put it all together. Because, I mean, this has been a year plus in the making of just us memeing it, trolling it, and just making fun of ourselves. So, by the way, are we running our own mempool instance here at the park? We are. What is it? What is there a domain?
If you're on the Wi-Fi here, it's mempool.lab.bitcoinpark.com.
All right, yeah. Don't go to Wiz's mempool. Go to bitcoinpark.lab.
Mempool.lab.
mempool.lab.bitcoinpark.com. Oh, man, I couldn't mess with the numbers yesterday. I'm on the left side of the bell curve, people. Just, I just mine blocks.
Block.
But seriously, it was super, super cool. We're going to run for 5 more minutes until these guys get here and when I see them. So we could change a couple things. So, by the way, out of curiosity, another tangent. What's the biggest mistake you or Philip has ever done in mining?
You go first.
No, I know. I know one of your big mistakes. So
Tell me.
the recent one. No, go ahead.
No, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
All right. So we met Marshall right about the time we got started, and so he came on as our mining advisor, and as he already told you, he has a ton of knowledge and experience, and so he's like, I want to get into mining in Africa, and I was like, well, you're crazy. And he's like, no, I can do this. So just recently brought up a site in Nigeria, and had a beautiful brand new transformer that lasted all of 5 minutes.
Hey, listen, what happens with the thing with the phases and, electricity is fun and breaks stuff.
Yeah, no. Anyway, it's but honestly, mining's a ton of fun, and I think one of the best things about this.
I think we have different definitions of fun.
No, actually, we have the same definition of fun. But I mean, I think one of the great things about this event was actually highlighting mining. Like this really was, I think, a great example of how mining works and demonstrating for people, what it is, this game of luck that we play with these stupid little machines. So that
And it
was
cuts
super
both
cool.
ways, Rod, okay?
Talk to me,
So
Goose.
next year,
Talk to
when we
me.
have 20 exahash running,
Talk to me, Goose.
it cuts both ways, okay? Some days are good, most days are not. All right? It's lucky. No, you know what? You're right. It's skill. We hit it because we're good. You're right.
Yeah, that's what happened.
So we recorded the entire day. So there's 2 recordings of it because Twitter or Riverside crapped out on us, so we had to do another recording. So if you got 8 hours to kill, highly recommend that. But I wish we had some of the footage of Marshall in the corner over there when he was just like legs up trying to hack it all together and put it together, because it was like 1 or like 10 terahash to start or whatever. What was it even to start? And then it started upticking after an hour or 2 hours.
Yeah, it
but we were
started going
calling
pretty
it out
slowly.
the entire telehash, which was pretty cool.
Yeah. I kept looking up and Marshall's back there just like mad cybercoder just banging on his computer.
Sweating.
Yeah. This is like proof of work. It was great.
Man. All right. We're going to wrap here in a second. Any closing thoughts on what you guys are most excited about for the next 2 days? You're coming in from Nairobi, Kenya, Houston, Texas, Raleigh, North Carolina. What do you got? Besides moving to Nashville, Tennessee, which we'll talk about in this next session. But
Moving to Nashville?
of course.
As a 10th generation Texan, obviously.
What are you most excited about?
I mean, there's such an excellent group of people here. I love actually talking with everyone, all the exciting projects, ideas, what people are working on. I look forward to hearing about all that. I'm super stoked to talk to Max at the closing chat today. I mean,
Are you guys going to, what are you guys going to talk about?
The weather? I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. No, I think we're going to talk about completely open sourcing and revolutionizing mining forever.
Let's go. Let's go. That's awesome. Marshall, what about you?
I'm interested. I've already met a few people here who are, I wouldn't say necessarily new to Bitcoin, but it's not their full time. And I was having a chat with Sam over here about heat reuse. He runs a lumber mill. He wants to dry his wood with mining. There's a lot of people here who aren't experts in Bitcoin or mining, and people are trying to find ways to leverage the asset to make their business better, which also decentralizes the network. So that's super interesting to me.
Before I pass it to Phil, today it's the easiest to mine at home. You go get a BitAxe from what are some of the sites that you can go buy a BitAxe? Plebsource.com.
Plebsource.com.
Right there.
Good one.
That's
you
one.
can go to bidaxe.org, and we have a list of sellers all around the world, so you can find a local seller in your spot. There's a lot on there.
And you can also go to FutureBit and buy one of those. I actually have, John was kind enough to send me a couple. I may give one out today to somebody.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I was just thinking about. Yeah.
There's 7 seats here and there's 5 over there.
Thank you. Perfect. Thank you, Mike. I'm going to give one of those out, and Mike, you may get that actually, just for helping me out. The problem is that's 100. Thank you. So, what cities have actually solo mined a block? It's Denver. Have you guys done that yet?
Just stop rubbing it in.
Okay.
Mempool is mempool.denver.space.
All right, there you go. That's great. So there's a little bit of a rivalry. Anyone here from Austin, Texas? There you go, Austin, Texas. We love those guys. Thanks for coming to Nashville always.
Yeah, but the new people here, it's never been easier to get involved at a lower price point, at availability. There's all kinds. There's FutureBit, there's Start9 Labs, there's Umbrel, there's all kinds of people if you just want to do nodes. You can do BitAxe for mining, in no small part due to Scott and his efforts. There's now more chip availability coming. There's new SKUs coming. There's different price points coming. It has never been easier to fuck around and find out. That is the motto of kind of how we decentralize things. It's never been easier to get access to this stuff. And so if you're curious at all, this has never been a better time to kind of get involved on the ground floor of what it is to participate individually in the Bitcoin network.
That's right.
Before I go to Philip one more time, Stephanie Coleman, you want to stand up for a second? That's the new CEO of the Nashville Chamber of Commerce. Can everyone give her a round of applause? Ralph Schultz, who's retiring after 17 years back there. Ralph, will you raise your hand? Can everyone give Ralph a big round of applause? Ralph also doubles as my babysitter at Sunday at Christ the King while my 4 kids are running around. So I really appreciate you, Ralph. You're going to have some more time, hopefully, to babysit my kids. No, the reason why I bring that up, and actually, well, Philip, you tell us about the next 2 days, and then I'm going to tell you guys to roll.
Listen, I mean, even so far this morning, I mean, we're what 2 hours into our morning. I mean, the great conversations with people that know mining, love mining. It is what makes this event so special, and so just super excited to geek out, get in the weeds, and hopefully sharpen each other as we all try and pursue this lovely art that we have committed our lives to.
That's awesome. Can everyone give these guys a round of applause real quick? Let's put the mics behind you.